King's Cross Station in central London is a familiar hub of hustle and bustle, but this week, a different kind of activity has been making the headlines. A Christian street preacher, part of the group Mad for Jesus Ministries, says she was shut down by police during a gospel message broadcast through a loudspeaker. Manique Bailey shared a video on Instagram of the moment that a police officer approached her and her mother, telling them it's so loud and that what they were doing was all wrong. The question of whether they were on public or private land also became an issue. Officers were telling the group that they needed permission from Network Rail to be broadcasting where they were. In an exclusive interview, Manique told GB News how the officer in the video became increasingly agitated towards her group.
So I basically planned an outreach with the team that I started like 2 years ago. It's called Mad for Jesus Ministries. And I felt led by the Lord to go to King's Cross. And we went to King's Cross, and there was already like a performance going on in the middle of King's Cross. So we was gonna do it there, but then we were like, okay, let's go around the back. So then we just placed our equipment there, the speaker there. Then a security came and they said, oh, you can't do this here, it's private land, but you can go behind the barriers. So we were first in front of the barriers, then we went behind the barriers. And I said, are you sure? And they were like, yeah, you can go behind the barriers. Like, there's no like rules or anything like that. So we went behind the barriers, but we were quite close to it just in case, because we just was like, I was a bit confused because I thought, I wasn't sure, but I was like, well, if they're saying it's okay, it's okay. So then we started praying first, as we always do, and then I always start with worship, with singing, and then I was preaching the gospel, more so to do with the grace and love of God for people, and how he's changed my life, and how he's changed my life from how I used to be and how I am now. And then I passed on to my mum, and that's when the incident took place. So my mom was just like 2 minutes in, and that's when this police officer came, and I just let her speak to my mom for a bit, but then she just kept talking to her. So I went over, and she was just saying like, you're not allowed to be here. And I was like, oh, okay, sorry, didn't know. The security told us we are, and we're a team where we're not gonna go against the rules. Like, if you say we can't, right? But then afterwards it got really weird. So I could feel her agitation towards us and her irritation. And of course, I know that the gospel, not everyone loves it. I already know that. The Bible speaks of it. It strikes the heart, it convicts us of our sin. So of course, whatever my mom said, my mom was actually really calm, like when she was preaching. So even that as well, when she said it was loud, my mom was very calm. But anyways, so she was just agitated anyways because we're preaching the gospel. And that's when I was speaking to her, and that's when you see the clip of her just like saying her opinion, which is so unnecessary. Like, if you just simply tell us to just go, then we go. Because we packed at that point, we already packed our stuff, and we were just standing there, and then she says her opinion, and that's when I'm like, so would you prefer just us to do a song, clappy song, whatever? Because not everyone's just into that kind of music. I'm into gospel. I have a right to believe in what I believe in. So it was a bit like, it was very odd. It was strange. I just didn't expect it, but I was like, whatever. We face persecution all the time anyways, like whether it's from the public or someone that says shut up, all these things. For me personally, I'm used to it. Our ministry is called Mad for Jesus, so of course we're going to get people that are like, what are you guys doing? But that's just what it is. And so that was upsetting, just because you don't expect police to deal with you in that way.
The British Transport Police have since released a statement on the matter, saying that they fully appreciate anyone's right to religious expression, and that the incident in full is currently being reviewed by a senior officer. Manique has since appeared on State of the Nation on GB News with Matt Goodwin to respond to the Transport Police's statements. She also began to raise her concerns with other religions being treated differently in the same situation as hers, saying that atheists or people of other faiths would not have been receiving as big or as heavy a reaction.
Read to you a statement from the British Transport Police, who said this: "We are aware of a video posted on social media showing an interaction involving an officer outside King's Cross railway station. Officers were on patrol at the station when they came across a group preaching on private land with a loudspeaker, which requires permission from Network Rail, and as such, they asked them to leave."
Yeah.
What's your response to that?
It is true that the police did tell us that you need a permit, so that is truth, but it's the way it was handled. She was very agitated with us, very hostile. How she came across to us, it was as if she didn't like us, if I'm being honest. And we're just here to spread the love of Christ and the truth of the gospel. And, you know, it was just astonishing. I just couldn't believe how a police person could come against us like that. Like, we were abiding by the rules. And by the way, I didn't actually put the full clip on just to, in a way, save her, because it actually got worse.
OK.
Yeah.
Monique, can I just quickly ask, if you take a step back and look at Britain, you know, as a Christian, you see the demonstrations that we've had since October 7th, some would say pro-Hamas, anti-Israel demonstrations, pretty overt displays of anti-Semitism.
Yeah.
We've had the Lucy Connolly case. We've had, I would argue, clear evidence of a two-tier approach within our judicial legal system. Do you think that we are actually now entering a society where some groups, some religions are treated much more harshly than others? Do you think, for example, if you had been a Muslim preacher in King's Cross Station, the reaction would have been the same?
Yeah, I don't think it would be the same. I do know, of course, every religion gets something thrown at them, but I do think, of course, Christianity is the most persecuted, and I do think we will see it more.
This incident has reignited discussions about fairness in enforcing public preaching rules. Critics argue that loudspeaker enforcement has disproportionately affected Christians, while others say that all groups must follow the same permit regulations. The incident is now part of a series of confrontations between the police and preachers going viral. Last year, 20-year-old singer Harmony London told GB News that she was humiliated after the police told her to stop singing church songs outside of church grounds.
This must have been very awkward for you, because you were going about your lawful business and this lady came up to you and told you weren't allowed to sing.
I mean, it was quite humiliating. I never expected to be treated like that, especially she said I'm not allowed to sing church songs outside of church. It was just quite shocking for me.
Yes, because you can sing, you can walk along the street singing if you want to.
Yeah, of course.
And you were in a place where busking is actually allowed, that Westminster City Council licenses it, and you're there quite regularly. I
mean, I'm not busking, I'm sharing the gospel. So when she came up to me and, you're busking, you're not allowed to, I'm sharing gospel, which is completely within my human rights. So that was my...
So you're serving as a witness to your Christian faith, which you have the courage to go out on the streets and proclaim, which is one of the instructions in the gospel, we should proclaim our faith.
Yeah, I mean, throughout the Bible, you're encouraged to sing God's praises. I'm not approaching people, I'm not forcing anybody to listen. I just go out there, I sing. If people want to listen, believers, non-believers, they are welcome to.
And you're not collecting money? You're not trying to raise funds?
I do collect money. I collect donations, but that's towards my gospel album. But I also have to pay for it to get there. Petrol, congestion charge, parking, and the rest goes towards recording.
And were there any other police there at the time? Because there seemed from the picture to be a policeman with a policeman's helmet on who didn't seem to get involved. He must surely have known the law.
I'm not really sure. There was two others. They didn't really say much. It was more kind of her leading it.
And what do you think upset her? Why was she suddenly taking this view? Could you tell? Did she say?
I mean, she literally just came over and said, "You need to stop or I'm going to seize your equipment." And she seemed she was very angry.
And did she show you a warrant card or any authority? Because she didn't look like a fully blown policeman, but it's hard to tell from the picture.
Not at all, she didn't. She wasn't instructed by Westminster Council to do that. There was no complaints. She just went out of her way.
And I'm not sure she has any right to take away your equipment. Police can't just take things off you when they feel like it.
I mean, that's what she was saying to me. So I just packed up and left. I don't like to cause a scene or anything. So I just...
But you were back singing again today?
Yeah.
And you'll be back singing again tomorrow?
Yes, I will.
And it's in Oxford Street?
Yes.
What hours are you singing so that people can turn up?
Around 1 p.m.
Around 1 p.m. So
Yeah.
To learn more about this story and watch the full exclusive interview with Manique, click through to the link in the description.